How y'all doing today? My name is Donovan Jackson. I'm coming here to tell you about my story, my testimony, in which that we went over in Dr. Patton's class. Originally, I wrote a testimony about my life, you know what I'm saying, from the beginning to where I am now. I've came a long way, but I still have so much far to go. It all started with me as a kid playing football. You know what I'm saying? In my paper, I learned so much more after this last class period that I had in Dr. Patton's class. I learned so much more of what I can add into my paper and to make it how much better. So, you know what I'm saying? I can write with my words so that my readers can get a visual of what I'm saying. For example, in my paper, I really talked about myself, my accolades, what I did, how I did it. I talked about football, how it was my route. After this class period, and talking with Dr. Patton, I understand where they're coming from. I should talk more about how I found that part to play football. Who introduced me to football? How did I get the love that I have for football? Also, it talks about my accolades, like what I've done, what schools I've been to, who recruited me, just a lot of things about myself. And I didn't discredit anyone, but I didn't talk more about who molded me into that person, who helped me become this good. Like God blessed me with abilities, but it was also people in my life who pushed me to a new level to achieve a different level of greatness. But not even greatness, because I'm not great, I'm far from great, but that's what I want to achieve. And it's people in my life that helped me get that mind state to understand to want to be great. For example, in my story, I talked about everything from being in little league to being in middle school to being in high school to being in college, and how football was the route tree for me to get all my degrees and everything or whatnot. So I also talked about in my story, I talked about how I broke my leg, how I broke both of my hands, but I never talked about how I felt. I never talked about how I felt, how I was feeling day to day, hour to hour. Like, it was a very depressing moment in my life. I also talked about my fraternity when I joined my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi, Root to the Good Brothers. I never talked about how the process was, even though I can't talk about it. I can't talk about how my emotions was. I didn't talk about how my feelings was. I just stated things. I just put them in there. You know what I'm saying? After this class period, it made me understand to really break it down, really get a readers a feel of how I'm feeling. I learned so much. I learned so many things about it. It's get a readers some of my emotion, let them really know what I'm feeling, like let them know my ambition, like let them really know where I'm coming from, you know, like I learned so much in that activity. The workshop was probably one of the best workshops I've ever done, because I got a chance to really go around and see I really got a chance to really understand my classmates, where they coming from, understand them a little more. You know, like they also picked up on things as well as I did, for them to write more and get deeper. That's really the biggest thing that I understood from this workshop, is get deeper. And I just want to thank Dr. Patton for that workshop, and I appreciate it.